Hey! You're not the head of the Mononokean. Well, if you're gonna come in here, you have to play a game with me. And if you're gonna play a game with me, you've got to know the rules of the Mononokean, okay? First rule is this, is that sometimes the master of the Mononokean and his assistant use foul language that may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised. Second thing is that sometimes they get really, really into our games, so they kind of spoil other things, like a lot. So, if you haven't watched the Morose Mononokean or a couple other series, you should totally be advised so that you don't get spoiled on anything. And finally, anything said in the Mononokean respects the views of that person or yokai or adorable fox spirit that likes to play hide and go seek. So, and not everybody as a whole. So take everything we say with a grain of salt. Now, with that being said, it is time for hide and go seek. Now, what should we play till? I bet we should play forever! And if you want to stop, then I'm gonna curse you to listen to every single one of the other Masters podcast episodes! Isn't that fun? Anyway, you're it! I'm gonna go hide!
Hello, one and all, and welcome to Dub Talk, the podcast where a group of exorcists get together and discuss the latest and greatest in English dubs. My name is Stephanie, and it's that time once again. It's ladies' night here on Dub Talk.
Ow, I'm gonna get chocolate wasted.
I'm gonna get actually wasted.
Can we wait until we're done before we get?
But what am I gonna do with all these whiskey bonbons?
It's Wednesday.
Oh, God damn it. It is Wednesday.
It's Whiskey Bonbon Wednesday.
We have to work tomorrow. We have to work tomorrow, guys, so not the best idea right now.
That's what sunglasses are for.
I know, I'm a killjoy, I'm sorry. So what kind of adventure are we in for today? Well, we're going to be assisting and exercising yokai today as we discuss the English dub for the Morose Mononokean, the 2016 series from Paro Plus and licensed by Crunchyroll and Funimation. If you haven't heard of this series, then you're in for a wild ride. High school is complicated enough, but when yokai get added into the mix, say goodbye to normalcy. This is Hanae Ashia's, wow, that's a tongue twister now you put the name together, unfortunate reality. Right before his first day of class, Ashia's life is turned upside down when he stumbles upon a strange creature that begins to cling to him. And the longer it's around, the worse Ashia begins to feel until he's missed the first week of school. But what's more unusual is that no one else can see this bizarre being. Desperate for help, he seeks aid from a questionable flyer searching for an assistant exorcist. Enter Haruitsuki Abeno, a handsome young man known as the Master of the Mononokean, who is just the person Ashia needs to exorcise the yokai that's possessing him. But Abeno's help comes at a price, one that has Ashia working as his assistant to pay it off. Together they'll help send trapped yokai to the underworld. That is, if they can stop bickering.
This is a story about one boy's quest to get fuzzy balls off his face. And
God damn it.
Wow, I can't wait to lewd yokai watch like Andrew lewds Pokemon all over his Twitter timeline.
Ooh! Fuck!
And
oh my God, Gigi, you just can't do that to people.
Why
and
not?
By you can't, I mean do
Why
it
not?
again.
Don't worry, the savagery is coming.
Anyway,
oh God,
aside from Andrew's love of looting Pokemon on his timeline, as always, we're going to be going through the cast and crew of this first season because lo and behold, they announced a second season in the last couple of months.
Hooray!
Which is
for at least 2 out of 3 of us.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to be going through the cast and crew of the first season, all the while discussing the casting, performances, and the English dub as a whole. It's time to summon the door to the underworld and dive right in.
Do I get a fluffy ball to attach to me first?
What?
Huh?
Can I get a fluffy ball gag?
God.
Yes. Don't worry. Mama is here to provide.
Oh,
Are you gonna lock me up in another children's playpen?
You didn't even get in there.
Because if I would have gone in there, then it really would have weirded out the super Christian restaurant we were at.
And yet, for some reason, you made Noah and Andrew go in there.
Listen, I had to lock my boys in the cage. I had to make the meme a reality.
You leave them boys alone. They are
No,
good
let her
boys.
touch. Whoa.
Let her touch them.
Whoa. Rethink that sentence real quick.
I mean, it was just coming out of my mouth, and I just couldn't stop it.
Clearly.
Oh my god.
Clearly not. Okay.
Who makes
so let's
people
start-
what? Who makes? I was trying to segue into that, and it was just going to be more sexual than I wanted it to be, so I'm going to shut my mouth.
Just stop. Stop while you're ahead.
I can't wait to talk about this BL. Funimation finally dubbed a BL.
God
As close as we'll get.
Oh, fucking hell. Alright, so we're gonna start with the ADR director, the assistant ADR directors, because unfortunately there are like 5 of them. And our script writers, which we have 2. So, this show is actually very interesting because a couple different reasons. So like I said in the beginning, it came out in 2016. I believe it was during the summer season. And the home video release for this show, 1, came out of nowhere, and 2, it actually came out at the start of 2018. So yeah, it came out like 2 years later. It's very interesting. But what makes it even more interesting is the staffing behind it. So the ADR director we have for Morose Mononokean is Tyler Walker, who has also directed series such as Hell Girl, Peach Girl, and 3 Leaves, 3 Colors. As for
The show doesn't have that many girls. Why are you going for shows with the word girl in it?
What about King's Game?
Because
Everyone's favorite anime, King's Game.
Everyone's gonna die.
Look, everybody fucking dies.
The
Look
Morose
here.
Mononokean, everybody fucking dies. All the yokai
Look-
dead.
Look here.
God,
was
Gigi
trying to
Christ.
Look here, I was trying to find shows that were at least fairly similar in tone and style to Morose Mononokean.
Oh yeah,
You
tell
shut
me that
your
part of
fucking
Peach Girl where they just exercise a
Fuck
bitch.
is Peach Girl anything like this? Peach Girl
I don't
was
know.
They just
I
exercise a succubus
Okay,
out of one of
I
them.
threw that in random. Shut the fuck up and let me keep talking, damn it. I haven't been able to host a ladies' night all fucking year, and this is how you treat me. You guys are such assholes.
What happened to Kami-sama Kiss?
I don't know. What did? Well,
Just do it next year.
Fucking hell. All right. As for our scriptwriters, I'm gonna go with that because assistance is gonna take a good couple minutes. So we have 2. Tyler Walker also serves as one of the scriptwriters, and he has done script work for series such as Ace Attorney, Fairy Tail, and Phantom Requiem for the Phantom. Meanwhile, our other scriptwriter, and I'm pretty sure our main scriptwriter here, is Mr. J. Michael Tatum,
Yay.
who has scripted 91 Days, some parts of the Garo franchise, as well as Psyche Reload Blast. Now here's the fun part. So, assistant ADR directors. There are 5 of them, like I said before. In alphabetical order by first name, we have Anthony Bowling, who has been the assistant director for Black Clover, Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card, and Star Blazer Space Battleship Yamato 2199. We have Brittany Latta, who has been the assistant ADR director for Allison Soroku and New Game. We have Dave Trosco, who has been the assistant director for Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, and he's edited The Last Witch. We have Kyle Phillips, who has been the assistant ADR director for All Out, Tokyo ESP, and parts of Fairy Tail. And we have Miss Tabitha Ray, who has been the assistant ADR director for Ace Attorney, Clockwork Planet, and here's our favorite show in the world, King's Game, the animation.
Everybody fucking dies.
King's Game, the show that actually depicts what goes on in a girl's uterus once a month.
I hate you so much right now. Why is it every episode that I'm on, there's either some kind of really veiled joke about vaginas, like ponchos, or you're gonna fucking talk about periods. Why?
Sorry.
I realize this is effing ladies' night, but Jesus Christ.
I don't know why it happened. It just did.
Because Megan somehow wasn't in that direction and she just doesn't stop.
I'm
I
gonna go
blame
take some
Andrew.
fucking Midol. Fuck all y'all.
I'm sorry. We can cut that out.
Oh god.
There's no
I'm
one here
sorry.
to help you now.
There is no God.
There is
Everybody
no God.
fucking dies.
There is no God. Only King's
Okay,
Game.
no. That's King's Game. Morose Mononokean, nobody, as far as we know, fucking dies. Thank God. So on that note, Gigi, how do you feel about the directing and script writing of the show?
Oh, Christ.
Please don't kill me.
Let's start off by me saying the Morose Mononokean is pretty episodic. So it's kind of hard to judge, especially when the rotating cast of directors and writers keeps rotating, kind of like the revolutionary sushi restaurant, except you can't put your plates in at the end to get a gachapon.
Ours was broken.
That being said, I kind of felt like this was on the level of Tame for a J. Michael Tatum dub, because I love when Tatum writes dubs, and I love when he throws in a bunch of pop culture references, and I love when he changes the script around, because I love that in my anime, because if it stays, you know, too true to the subtitles, I get bored and I'm like, well, I could just watch the subtitles. But this was kind of tame for scripts that he writes. Like, I didn't really feel that there were any, you know, super funny out of context moments, which I know a lot of people don't care for, but I personally like them, so I was slightly disappointed. But I mean, I guess it's solid. I did not watch any of the Japanese for this dub, because I didn't have time, and I mean,
You're also planning on going to Vegas soon.
I will be in Vegas a week from Saturday. So I clearly would rather spend my time on, you know, forgetting how to play blackjack so boys can teach me. So that's always a fun time.
Double bonus if they look like Ron, Maru, or Camu.
I would cry.
Or Ren.
I would cry. As for the directing, I mean, like I said, it was pretty solid. I only had a problem with a couple of the casting choices for characters we're not even talking about, so I guess it really doesn't matter. I did have this thing, though, where one of the yokai towards the beginning, pretty sure this was a thing from the Japanese, and if it's not, I don't know why they threw it in there, but he kept saying ki a lot, and I was like, Kiki, we going to a party?
Oh, Big Boss Scream.
I was like, Shangela, are you here? But
God damn it.
we're going to a Kiki. Yeah, so I just, that was a weird sound choice thing, I guess. But, you know, the goddess Brittany Lotta does no wrong, because she's the goddess Brittany Lotta. As for everybody else, it flowed pretty seamlessly, so I couldn't really tell there were a bunch of rotating staff members on this, and that's the sign of a good thing, especially when it's an episodic anime where nothing really wraps up in the end. So yeah, I have nothing really terrible to say about it, and it was nothing really super that would make me crawl and cry on the floor like if Camu were singing Saintly Territory. So that's all I really have to say.
God damn it. It all goes back to Udapri with us now. It's great.
Yep. Look for the spinoff coming 2019.
God damn. The spin-off podcast. Lord almighty. Anyway, Megan, how do you feel about the directing and writing?
So I do have to agree with Gigi that for a Tatum script, this is a little bit more tame. There are some things that I did catch. I think one of the ones that really kind of stood out to me, because I was watching the show, but I was also working on other stuff that I needed to get done early this morning while it was like I had like the first 3 or 4 episodes on. And I think the one that caught me was, I don't want you to come play hide and seek with me if you're a noob. And I was like, I don't know if I should be upset at the fact that you use the word noob and it's 2018, Jesus Christ. Or if it works because this character is an annoying bratty child.
I ain't even catch
or at least
that,
takes that. It's when
I know when it would be. I didn't even catch it. So
yeah, and I think that's the thing is that I can tell a little bit when Tyler was handling the episode and when Tatum was handling the episode, and I don't want to knock this because it's not a bad dub. Actually, this was probably one of the more enjoyable and easier dubs I've watched this year. Like, this was great. I could just put this on and, like, turn my head away, and I could tell, unless you were a yokai, to which that is another minor complaint I have. I could tell all the characters apart unless they were the episodic yokai. And that is because I think literally almost every single older male actor at Funimation is in this dub.
Yeah.
And no offense, they kind of all run together if they're all in the same scene. So when your head's turned away, like mine, like say I got a text message that I needed to respond and I looked down for a second, I couldn't tell who it was. I just knew the performance was, oh hey, this is adorable because this is a adorable cuddly yokai creature. But the thing is that, like, one of the things, if there's multiple writers on a show, just to transition back into that, is if there are multiple writers on the show, I do not want to know where one person's writing ends and the other person's picks up. It should all, to me, be a seamless mesh through, because if you're somebody else who has a lot of writing quirks like Tatum and you don't mesh necessarily together with the other person you're writing with, it kind of throws the tone of the show off. In this case, it's really tame, but the best example to give you where this actually is really successful is in the Ancient Magus Bride, where you cannot tell where Bonnie Quickenbeard starts and where Jamie Marchi picks up. And then in terms of the rotating directors thing, I don't know if there was just something, was it the simuldub schedule that caused, like, literally everyone and their mom to work on this show, basically?
I mean, the only way that would make the most sense is if they were working on during a same season when Tyler Walker was working on something else. Like, maybe he was working on, for example, like, considering some of the names listed here, he could have been working on Kato, The Right Answer.
I mean, I'm not gonna knock it because the dub came out really great, and I think especially with a lot of the lead and more prevalent characters to the show, I really like it, and I honestly think that in terms of the casting for the two leads, this is probably one of my favorite combinations that they've used this year. So, but that's all I really gotta say. So, Steph?
Okay. I am gonna agree with you for the most part in terms of the writing side, because unfortunately on this show, some of us either absolutely downright love Tatum's writing, or sometimes have very, very huge issues with it. Normally I'm in the middle, and I'm still kind of in the middle, but this is one of the more tame, I'd say tame, leaning on more of the scripts that I enjoy a lot more from Tatum, like Aka, 91 Days, and those ones. I think it helps that having Tyler in here to work off of helps too, but it's like you guys have been saying, this isn't without Tatum's little quirks here and there, and sometimes it worries me, sometimes it doesn't. Like, 3 things that I picked up on throughout watching this. The words "get bent" were used, and within the first episode, what else was used? Achievement unlocked was also used. And I don't know if you guys paid attention to the next episode previews at the end, but there was one where Abeno was like, "I'm not Dr. Doolittle," to Ashia.
I think I might have skipped that one.
Yeah, they were next episode previews after the end credits, though. But despite that, like Megan was saying, this is a show that I easily enjoyed, even with the small little quirks in writing that kind of, you know me at this point, my brain is just like, I don't know how this is going to go later on down the line, if it's going to really kind of cause an issue in terms of trying to get new viewers in and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, the script is very enjoyable. I had a lot of fun with it. Same thing with the directing, and kudos to this massive rotating list of directors. Because holy mother of God. I mean, I don't know this. We don't know the circumstances of when this was recorded or what was going on at the time. Obviously, the most likely scenario is the crazy simuldub schedule at that point in time. But I couldn't tell where Tyler's directing started, and then all these other 5 individuals where they jumped in, and that's a very good thing. I think if I had to think of stuff, I would say some of these assistants came in for specific arcs. Like, let's throw this out there for an example, because we're going to bring him up again in a couple minutes, actually. Anthony Bowling. He probably was the assistant on the parts where Jomatsu, who we'll talk about in a second, was more prevalent. Brittany probably took care of helping with some of the Yahiko bits. As for Dave, Kyle, and Tabitha, that's the more obscure ones, but they could probably fit into different arcs. That's what I'm thinking of how they did this. But who knows? Honestly, we don't know the circumstances. But I do have to give kudos to the casting, the performances, the script. Actually, I really did enjoy, despite the small little quips and that make my brain kind of nitpick. That's just me at this stage. But overall, it's very fun. It's very easy to watch to me, and it's very enjoyable. And I do agree with Megan. It has one of my favorite pairings in terms of lead character performances that work off of each other so well so far this year. So, we get to move on?
Yeah.
Neat. So let's talk about some yokai. Well, this section and probably the next section are going to be very, very brief. This section is more of the episodic yokai we get to meet throughout the first season. So we have Big Boss Scree, who appears, I believe, in episode 2. He is this pinecone looking thing with a bunch of children that ends up in the school. I'm trying to describe these yokai so Gigi can remember them. He's the motherfucker going kiki.
He throws the kiki. Yeah, we know the Big Boss Scree.
Yes, he's adorable.
Big Boss Scree is our favorite kiki lover.
We have Mitsu Chigura, who he looks like this stone man. I think he pops in episode 3 or 4. He's this stone kind of figure.
Oh, the mask guy.
The mask guy.
The mask guy. Yes, the mask guy. Because one of Ashiya's jobs, very early on, he's asked to retrieve this guy's laughing mask, which has been attached to Zenko's dad. We have Manjiro, who is the eel. The eel-looking yokai who requests the assistance of the Mononokean to find a wedding ring belonging to an old lady and to return to her. We have Jomatsu, who is this flying bird-looking like yokai who is an assistant to this princess and who he loves very much, and he's trying to get some help because this motherfucking princess falls for any good-looking character. Even a jet for some reason.
Yeah, that was the line that got me. I was like, I'm sorry, and for some reason a jet plane. I was like, JJ the jet plane?
I don't even remember this episode.
It's the one with the birds.
I just watched this like 2 days ago.
It was just before the Yahiko bit, I believe. We have Nobu, who is a scarecrow, basically, who is stuck in this field near Zenko's house, kind of haunting it, and is feeling guilty for the
his
death
best bro
of
died.
his scarecrow buddy. And then we have Tomari, who pops in the last arc of the show. She's a dugong-looking, speaking of Pokemon, dugong seal, who is blind and can only see if she borrows the eyes of someone who is able to see yokai. So, with that brief explanation, as brief as I can go, explanation out of the way, the voices for these characters, as Big Boss Scree, we have Arborous Elliott, who has been in series such as the recent Angels of Death, Gangsta, and Romeo x Juliet. As Mitsu Chigura, we have Randy Perlman, who's been in Aka 13 Territory Inspection Department, Token Rambu Hanamaru, and Tokyo Ghoul Re.
He also went Kiki.
He also went Kiki. As Manjiro, we have Steve Powell, who has been in series such as Basilisk, the film Boy and the Beast, as well as a minor role in Shiki. As Jomatsu, as I was mentioning before, it's Anthony Bowling, who has been in series such as Devil's a Part-Timer, Honda-kun, and Ping Pong Lee Animation. As Nobu, and my god, I think this is the craziest one for me. Kent Williams is Nobu, the Scarecrow. And he's been in series such as Bakken Test, Drifters, and Soul Eater. And as Tomari, we have Miss Heather Walker, who has been in series such as Luck and Logic, Overlord, and Tokyo ESP. And Heather is also the princess. What is her fucking name?
She's Princess Bird.
Princess Onmo. She's Princess Onmo during the Jomatsu episodes as well. But we're primarily going to be talking about her as Tomari because Amano just makes chirping bird noises. Onmo. Alright, so Gigi, how do you feel about, real briefly, about these characters?
The worst part about episodic anime is that if you somehow skip out or like don't pay attention to something and then it comes back around to bite you in the ass, kind of like what it did to me here. So let me tell you, I'll just talk about the ones that I do remember, and you can pass judgment on me for not remembering the other ones. Not to say that their performance wasn't great or whatever, but apparently it didn't catch my ear enough for me to even remember these characters. So the first one is Kiki, the Kiki master himself, Shangela. I mean, Scree. Which fucking freaked me the fuck out. Because it was all like CGI and like weirdo eyes and friggin' bush teeth. And
I
wanted
of the yokai were like CGI kind of things. I think Manjiro was another one too.
Yeah.
Manjiro, maybe Nobu.
A lot of the yokai were CGI. They were the important yokai, were the ones that were CGI'd. And this one like freaked me the fuck out. And then I realized that a couple episodes later that it's just going to be a bunch of older dudes as yokai watch characters. So I was like, oh, okay, I get where this is going. I've already sort of said in the writing how I didn't like the little kiki noise that he was trying to make. It just came out as really awkward and stilted. Like, and if this is the thing that they said in the Japanese version of it, I don't know. I think it could have been written a different way so that it could seem less awkward coming out of a grown-ass man who's being this old-ass yokai. So that was Scree, who scared the shit out of me. The Scarecrow dude was all right. I remember him. I thought the eel one was actually pretty funny. Like, I really liked his delivery, although this is another case of me finding the plot twist before they said there was a plot twist, and I was like, I swear to God, I thought he said that he was her husband. Oh, no, I guess he didn't, so I did it again. I've talked about this numerous times where I just didn't make the plot twist twisty enough. But I thought that one was a really good job. Who I really liked, who stood out above all the other yokai for me, was the blind seal girl at the end. I really liked her. I think she was in King's Game, and I said I really liked her, but she didn't do enough.
Yes,
but I
Heather
really
was
liked
in King's Game.
I really liked her here too. Like, I really thought she was just very kind of calming, and like, I didn't want to believe if the seal was like a good seal or really trying to fuck over what's his face?
Ashia?
Yes, Ashi. I keep wanting to call him Akiashi, and I was like, that's a completely different show. Yeah, I couldn't tell, and I thought that was like really good for the beginning of it, because once it takes him a long time to get his yokai watch back, that she
she could have. This is nicknamed Yokai Watch.
It is. Sorry. I call this anime Yokai Watch. Why wouldn't I? God damn it.
It's really gay Yokai Watch.
It is. It's the BL Yokai Watch. The Yaoi Yokai Watch. Here you go, fam. But I really liked her performance. And then once I realized that she really was being sweet and her little like kawaii anime eyes, and I was like, oh, she really is really cute and just wants to go to the underworld and just see one last time. So I really appreciated that performance a lot. Like, that was my favorite out of all the yokai that were like the episodic yokai. So everybody else I sort of remember, but don't remember anything interesting enough to point out for this episode. But that is the peril of episodic anime. She is the girl who falls off the cliff. She's the one who I was like, oh, she's kind of bitchy. I really liked her when she's bitchy. Wasn't that her?
If I'm right, she's the girl who falls off the cliff.
They both fell off the cliff.
No, she was,
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Everybody fucking dies in King's Game. Everybody fucking dies.
Everybody fucking dies. Megan, how do you feel about these yokai?
So I, for one, was totally expecting the seal lady to pull a fucking Ursula and steal poor Amino's eyes.
Don't underestimate the power of body language.
God damn it!
God, I'm sorry, man.
Gigi karaoke time is happening again.
God, I fucking missed Dub Talk karaoke. Hey, Lord Reinhard.
God damn it!
Yes, Kirshai.
That's the.
Is nothing gonna
Can I
stop
talk
you
about
now?
The yokai? Can I talk about the
Yokai?
yokai?
Stop us now.
Except Steph.
God damn.
She was just dying on the floor. I have video.
I was dying on the floor. Oh,
Like,
God.
I hope you put all of that in the vlog.
I put
no,
a
so-
snippet of it.
Heather Walker as the seal, it was a little jarring for me because I'm not used to her voice, actually. So I was like, okay, do I like this? Do I think it's good? Do I think it's bad? So I'm a little bit like, I don't know where I stand on Heather Walker's performance. Anthony Bowling, for some god-awful reason, I thought was Chuck Huber for like 20 minutes.
Good job.
I'm dumb. But I really liked him as the horniest little bird. Who was...
He was adorable. He was doing his
best. Gigi, I also love you, but that bird is your Patronus.
I don't remember this at all. Like, I seriously...
Okay,
maybe I fell asleep through this episode.
Her thing was that she falls in love with really attractive shit, but it can't see her. So she gets depressed and then curls up in a ball and won't let anyone talk to her.
Oh, that sounds exactly like me.
And then wait. Amino is the blonde one, right?
Yes.
Abeno is the blonde.
Okay,
yes.
I'm only saying I don't know what their names are because I want to call them by their actors. So, like, they finally resolve their arc, Gigi, and then Amino comes up and she immediately gets horny for Amino.
This is true to form.
She's also super fucking extra pretty. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Also
like,
true to form.
No, like, you don't understand. There's Anthony Bowling's guy who is, no offense, he's kind of a fugly ass little yokai. And you're like, okay.
He's like the nerdy best friend.
Yeah, and then it's like, she comes out of the egg and she looks like this glorious, like, pinkish purple feather princess who's just horny for Amino. And I was like, damn, girl, you can get anything you want looking like that, including that jet engine, honey.
Let her lewd the jet engine if she wants to lewd the jet engine.
God damn it.
She really watched an episode of JJ the Jet Plane and thought it was JJ from Yuri on Ice's face on it instead, and that's why.
God
True to form.
Anyway.
So yeah, no, Anthony was really great as like this, oh my god, help me, water, please. And then like, God, I love I can't call him his actor's name so bad! I'm so bad with names.
With Abeno or Ashia?
Ashia, where Ashia's like, dude, I was gonna give them a honeymoon. What the fuck, Abeno? Like, I had this all planned. But no, my thing is this. I also want to really talk about Nobu, in that Kent Williams does his best Dan Warren impression. In that he sounded a lot like Castor from Fate Zero to me, so I was like, oh god, this is going to end badly. I also called the fact that the dude was like best bros with the Scarecrow, like the whole like eel wife thing. But my biggest thing with all the yokai, except for Anthony and Heather's, is that, like I said, when I look away, a lot of the older guys at Funimation kind of sound the same. When you're not paying as much attention as you should be. And let me go with this. I was paying a lot of attention to it, but when you put them all in one room at one point, I was like, holy shit, I need color-coded fucking subtitles for y'all.
I do remember that at the end when they all got in the same room, and I was like, what the fuck?
My only sadness was that they did not give Spiky a voice, because Spiky X Fluffy OTP. Also, I want to point out that the one line that Fluffy ever speaks in the show is Dawn.
Is it really?
Yeah, it is Dawn.
Yeah, it's Dawn Bennett.
Fuzzy. Fuzzy is Dawn. Dawn plays Fuzzy.
She's a good girl.
Fuzzy, I want, like, 10,000 Fuzzies.
I want to. Oh my god! If there's a plush of Fuzzy, I will buy that.
Look here, I will make my own fucking Fuzzy plush.
Fuzzy is cute.
But that's all I have to say about the yokai. They were all really good for episodic characters. It's my own stupid fault that I can't tell a lot of the older guys apart.
See, I think unlike you guys, I actually was paying attention. So obviously,
Okay,
I could tell
was paying
who was
attention
who.
for like a lot of the show, but shut up.
But I enjoyed a lot of these performances. God, I'm gonna go in order as best I can with the notes I wrote down. So I'm gonna start with Big Boss Scree, our Bruce Elliott. He gives Scree kind of an otherworldly tone to him. Like, you can tell that there's slight menacing to his tone of voice. You can tell that he's kind of endearing, has a little bit of charm to him, and I enjoy that a lot. Randy Perlman as a masked man over here gives a monotone voice to the character that has no emotion, but it's kind of required, all things considered, with this kind of yokai here. But when he puts on the mask, it's kind of adorable because he gets to kind of, because the laughs, the happy laughs, the crying, the anger, it almost seems like it's kind of hammed up a tiny bit, which I can appreciate that choice. I wrote that Anthony is just too adorable and precious as Chomatsu. Kind of like the dorky sidekick best friend like I was describing earlier. And it's very, very cute. Who else? Heather Walker kind of has a regal air to her that I think makes Tomani very wonderful. It's not like a quiet presence, because she is very soft-spoken for most of the arc, but there's this air of like sophisticated, elegant kind of presence that I think shines through quite a bit with Tomari. I actually didn't write anything for Steve Howell's Mondro, but he was a lot of fun. Ken Williams, though. So here's the thing. I watched this show twice now, both times in the dub. The first time I watched the show and I got to Nobu, I started calling bullshit because I was like, who is this? I don't know who this is. This is very unrecognizable. I look it up. Kent Williams, I'm like, no.
You motherfucker.
No! I'm calling some bullshit right now. It's like, I really enjoyed it because at this stage we're used to Kent Williams in a very specific tone, which is more of a mature, a lot of times authoritative kind of figure. Nobu, he is not any of those things. He is he's kind of childlike, he's a bit more high-pitched, and it's a lot of fun to see Kent Williams basically, to me, be almost unrecognizable in this role, and I enjoy it a lot. But yeah, all of these, as brief of performances and appearances as these are, they are all a lot of fun in their own little ways. Are we good to move on?
Yes.
Let's talk about the parental figures. We have two parental figures we see sporadically throughout the series. We have Ashia's mother, Nara Ashia, and then we have Zenko's dad. We have Tatsuma Fujiwara. Ashia's mother, Nara, is a florist, runs her own flower shop, and half the time her dialogue is speaking in the language of the flowers, which is a very fun little quirk that this person gets to play off of. As for Tatsuma Fujiwara, he is like a head monk at this shrine of sorts that he's in charge of. Very, very strict, very, very protective of Zenko, which is very evident when he starts yelling at Ashia and Abeno on a frequent basis. So, the individuals playing these characters as Nara Ashia, we have Miss Stephanie Young, who's been in series such as Attack on Titan, Claymore, and Show by Rock. And as for Tatsuma Fujiwara, this is played by Mr. Brandon Potter, who has been in series such as Carnival, Michiko and Hatchin, and as... Wow, I'm blanking. I was like, I wrote One Piece, and I forgot who he was. He's Shanks. I'm stupid. I'm going back to sleep. God damn it. Alright, Gigi, how do you feel about Stephanie Young and Brandon Potter as these parental figures?
They were alright. The mom, I really like Stephanie Young in Code Realize. And I really thought she was very regal there. This is a completely different character from that. This mom's kind of ditzy. She doesn't know what to say a lot. And she does, you know, do most of her dialogue giving the names of flowers because she doesn't really know how to express things any other way. It was okay. I think the first episode I was like really kind of tuned out to it just because I didn't get the connection between her voice and the character, but I think as the show went on I got more tuned into it. Zenko's dad, he had a lot of different facets he had to go through because he had all those yokai masks on, you know, because this is Yokai Watch, and it was all right. I didn't like the parts towards the end where he kept calling Ashia the wrong name and was like yelling at him, and I was like, I don't buy this. But that may have been again something where the voice didn't match up like to the weird animation that was going on and the strange character design. But it was fine. They parents, yo. I mean, they're not DILFs. It's not a DILF. It's not a MILF. So I can't cry over it like if David Wald were in this anime or anything. There's your shout out, boo.
God damn it. Megan, how do you feel about Stephanie and Brandon's performances?
I was expecting Brandon to literally take a shotgun and put it to to the poor boy's heads.
Yes.
Like, damn, Brandon Potter's guy was like, okay, look, you know the old shotgun wedding type things?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was expecting that man to, like, put down a can of Bud Light and put a gun to Ashia's head.
He probably would have done that on several occasions if Zenko didn't threaten to go tell her mother.
Tell her mom. Which, good job. Good. I would like to thank the Fujiwara household for letting the mom be in charge.
Thank God.
Bitches get shit done. No, they were fine. I don't really have a lot to say on each of them, though I will give Brandon a lot of credit for having to do a lot of those laughing and say some very serious, threatening lines and still be kind of funny about it. But I feel bad in that they didn't really leave a huge impression on me, like, character-wise. They just kind of aren't really the focus of the show, except for, like, the times you go over to Zenko's house. Or you see Ashia with his mom, but you don't really see Ashia and his mom a lot, so... They were fine, but they just didn't leave a super huge impression on me.
Yeah, these two are parents that exist in this world. In terms of Stephanie Young as Mama Ashia, like Gigi was saying, this is very different than what we're used to hearing Stephanie Young as. She's usually the mature, kind of the cool woman figure, similar to what she's done in Code Realize, similar to, I think the closest in my mind in terms of recent memory that Stephanie Young is to this is probably KK, actually, in Blah Blah K Battlefront. Especially when Season 2, when we really get to see her interact with her family and her being an actual mom. But Nara Ashia is very quirky in her own right. Like I was saying, she speaks using the language of the flowers. And it's a fun little tick and little gag that's used whenever she's there. And I think it's adorable. It's very different than what I'm used to hearing Stephanie do. And then Brandon, I'm going to agree on two different points that each of you just said. I'm going to agree with Megan and give him credit where credit is due with the whole bit with the laughing mask that's attached to him and trying to say these very serious and threatening lines to Ashia while laughing his ass off uncontrollably. I have to give him credit there. But I also have to agree with Gigi on some points where it didn't seem like it would fit at times, where he was angry, threatening, and yelling all the time, and part of it might have been the actual animation itself and trying to match that, but Brandon did his goddamnedest on this one, and it was still a lot of fun. It's just there were moments after the mask incident where I did get taken out of it a little bit, of the character and the performance, but otherwise than that, I enjoyed it a lot. I think we're good to actually go more in depth with these characters, because we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, at least 4 sections to go, but 2 of them are individuals anyway. So, we ready to move on?
Is it time to talk about why we're all here?
Your TED Talk.
Welcome to Megan's TED Talk on how I want to become a newt.
Alright, so we're going to talk about a few major characters in the underworld that we encounter on several occasions. So we have Korra, who runs this medicine shop where she creates different medicines for yokai, and god damn it.
She's an apothecary. She's an apothecary.
Apothecary, that's the correct phrase, thank you. But she's a bit quirky in her own right, because she wants to take the parts of everyone and everything and just turn them into medicine.
Gigi, this is where Ursula is in this show.
Don't underestimate the power of Korra language.
God damn it.
Don't underestimate the power of lesbians.
Just your voice. What poor unfortunate yokai.
Oh, but no, you have such beautiful eyes. I want to just take them and cut them up so thinly and put them into my medicine. And Ashia, your beautiful ears. Can I buy them as a set? What?
This sounds like the BL I didn't want to see.
Man, this Yokai Watch X I no Kusabi crossover is very strange.
There it is. There it is. Oh no.
Oh, end me.
I'm going home.
Ashia, I'm gonna use you as furniture.
God, no. Stop. Oh, God. So, while Megan deals with that furniture over there in the corner, the other 2 characters we're going to talk
moaning.
about... Damn it. The other 2 characters we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Shizuku, who is Korra's assistant in the apothecary shop, who is also a newt.
And a giant lesbian.
who is a little newt disguised as a girl, and who is also a giant lesbian who has a thing for Korra. And we're also going to talk about her older brother, the legislator.
Holy shit,
who is also a newt, and who resides at Newt Lake, I believe
Daddy.
it's called. And,
holy shit, he's hot.
So how the underworld works, there are 3 big people in terms of who's in charge of shit. The legislator, the justice, and the executor. In terms of the legislator, he is the one who makes a bunch of rules and shit for people to follow. And he's also very good looking. He's very good looking.
So if Josh is the legislator, which one gets to be Tatum and which one gets to be Bevins?
I haven't even got to who plays the legislator yet, you little shit.
Oh, my bad.
Anyway, on that note, since she just spoiled it outright, as the legislator, we have Josh Greeley, who's been in series such as The Ancient Magus Bride, Danganronpa, and My Hero Academia. As Shizuku, we have Sarah Wiedenheft, who has been in series such as Hyoka, Orange, and Trickster, and probably more importantly in this situation, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. And
Thank you!
I didn't put that in, and I was like, before Megan kills me. And as Korra, we have Janelle Lutz, who has also been in The Ancient Magus Bride. She's also in Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Dinu Thesis, and Luck and Logic. Gigi, can you start us off? What do you think of Janelle, Sarah, and Josh's performances here?
I'm bringing sexy Josh.
Oh my god! No!
Alright! Which one of us doesn't want to fuck the newt?
Actually, it's me, because I, number one, didn't realize it was Josh Greeley until I read the credits.
Oh!
I just wanted to call him Sexy Josh because it's been a hot minute since I've gotten to recognize Sexy Josh for his sexiness.
I mean,
other than that, like, I didn't get the huge sexy Josh impression like everybody else did, apparently.
He's hot. The character design is hot. I'm sorry.
I'm a different kind of girl. You'll see.
Look,
shortly.
look. I've got a thing for guys in yukatas, okay?
I know
as
you
evident
do.
by probably she still has her eye in a yukata on her Udapri.
Actually, no. He's in his Signing Superstars thing on the print stage waiting until I can put him in the right outfit.
God. No. Here's the funny part. I have Reiji and he's in a fucking yukata.
I switched to Animal Ren, who doesn't have the animals in his...
Because of course you would.
In his robot form. Anyway, yeah, I thought it was a good performance, and I'm really kind of excited that I couldn't recognize him, because usually I can pick Josh Greeley out of a crowd, but I couldn't hear for some reason. I did like his character. I'm not a huge fan of the character design, but I got the sexy Josh part out of it. Just wasn't... It was a good performance. It's not my favorite character. Korra. She is a good girl. We like Korra. I think Korra might be best girl. I'm pretty down with her. I feel her on a spiritual kind of yandere level.
Oh god.
So she's a good girl. I really like that the levels that she went there, because she didn't take it like too crazy. While I was watching this, I was kind of having oh my god, not Kakurio. Jesus Christ, what's the name of the with the girl, the crazy girls?
Oh, which one?
Oh, the one that the gambling one that I, love.
Oh, Kakigurui.
Thank you. Too many K words. I was kind of having Kakigurui flashbacks where I was like, okay, she should be at this level, but actually it's like 3 steps below Kakigurui, and I thought she hit that level and didn't go above to be stupid crazy like I wanted out of Kakigurui. So I thought she like hit a really good level in her crazy but not so crazy performance there, so I was very pleased. Plus she is best girl. She's a good girl. She knows what she wants. She like owns that house. She owns the apothecary. That's right.
You had to pronounce the word. Apothecary.
Look, I've been up since 1:30 this morning.
Then whose fault is that? You were probably trying to tear in Udapri, right?
No, I was actually in terrible pain, but thanks for reminding me that I could have been tearing in Udapri.
God damn it.
Shit, Steph. Wow.
As for little dragon maid girl, I actually kind of like this. I thought she was pretty cute too. Like, she wasn't annoying. Like, I thought it could have gotten to levels of annoying, because just like if you're looking at the character looks like she could be annoying, but the voice wasn't annoying, so that made me happy. And plus I liked her little crazy moments where she was like, oh my god, my eyes are better, why doesn't she like me more? And I was like, girl, I feel like you on
my body.
Like, I feel you on a spiritual level. So, like, I really thought that all 3 of these performances were on the right levels. And that made me happy, because they didn't go overboard and they weren't underplayed to the point of wouldn't have felt that the voice actor was caring enough about the character or the performance. So I thought they hit the right levels here. So A for effort, friends.
A for effort. Megan, how do you feel about these performances?
So I'm going to start off with our favorite little lesbian. What's her... God, I feel really bad that I don't have character names up right now, so... But I agree with Gigi that she could have been super, super annoying. And I'm really happy that Steph did end up bringing up Dragon Maid.
You're welcome.
Because that is immediately what my brain snapped to. I was like, oh... This is
when you
just Toru.
See, Megan called me earlier, and when we were chatting,
I'm
for
getting
a couple
to that
minutes,
story.
This is one of those things we were talking about.
Yeah, Shizuku. So I thought she was adorable. She was, like Gigi said, she was the right level of absolutely crazy. That if you would have gone a little bit too over, it would have fucked up the performance and made it a little bit obnoxious, especially against Janelle Lutz's Korra, who is very like even-toned and calm, yet a little bit psycho, and you kind of don't want to touch her. Because she'll probably see your nails and be like, shit, that'd be good medicine. And I really like Janelle's too. Oh god, I'm blanking on who the fuck she plays in Maggot's Bride.
It's, shit, she's,
Is she Dr. Shannon?
no, she's, give me a second, I'll find it. Because I have it and open. Angelica.
That's right! She's Angelica, I was on the same level. I was like, is she? Or is she, like, oh god, it was messing with me, and then I was like, oh, right, she's the other adult figure in Chise's life that is, like, telling her not to do bad, awful things.
Yes.
So, she's the other person in that. That's who it was. So, I really liked her, and it was a performance that was a departure from Angelica, too, from Ancient Maggot's Bride, which was really great, because, again, I'm not super familiar with Janelle Lutz's performances. I thought she was great. I like that Gigi brings up, like, the levels of yandere that people can do, and how, like, if you go over it too much, you'll kind of spoil the broth. Like, too many cooks? Too many cooks?
Too many
yanderes?
Too many yanderes. Nice.
Too many
yanderes.
yanderes. Cut up the bra.
And spoil the brew.
Too many yanderes cut up the boy and put him into the broth.
God damn it.
Tasty.
We're gonna have some stewed dick tonight. God, no. Okay, so Andrew, I guess, had called me about something last night, and I was talking about how I think I saw this art online of, like, Zack from Angels of Death, and I was like, oh, is somebody making a Zack Dakimakura? And he goes, the only way that would be successful is if it smelled of formaldehyde, and I immediately just started screaming because that's disgusting. You know it's not disgusting?
What?
The Legislator.
Segue.
Even though he is technically a chain-smoking alcoholic womanizer, he's really hot. And I actually didn't also believe that was Josh for a long time. I was like, that's a lie. That's not Josh Greeley.
She called me.
I was like, that's bullshit.
Did she really call you?
She called me.
Yes!
No, she called me, when she first heard, because the first time we hear the Legislator,
First time you hear him is
it's
through the tadpole phone.
The tadpole phone
Yeah.
when he's talking to Cora.
Yeah.
She called me immediately, I think, after she heard that, and she's like, that is not Josh, you are fucking lying to me. I'm like, that's Josh. Keep watching, bitch.
Well,
Keep
no, because I
watching.
didn't think it would be.
He's
Because,
great.
like, okay, I would have never thought you were going to match, of all people, to play a Junichi Suwabe character, Josh Greeley.
I feel kind of cheated now because we all know who it should have been.
Ian.
Yup.
No, because
See,
Josh is
also
perfectly
me, I'm
fine.
very...
No, he is really
Yeah, no,
fine, but you know, Junichi
Fuck no,
Suwabe
because
has
Josh
to
was
be
great,
Ian.
and I love him as hot Newt Daddy.
Newt Daddy?
God damn it.
Newt Daddy.
Daddy,
Newt Daddy.
pull my tail, it just grows right back.
God damn it.
Oh my god. She turned me into a newt, and don't turn me back, I didn't want to get better.
Oh, God.
By the way, I'm also very sad at you, Steph, for not getting my very, very good Yuri Kuma joke. I hate you.
No, I understood your Yuri Kuma joke. But you spoiled the whole thing with Josh because I hadn't said anything.
You can talk now while I lust over Newt Daddy and have my boyfriend stare at me.
God damn it. Oh,
Harder, Newt Daddy, you can choke me, but I can breathe underwater.
fucking hell.
Oh,
Are you
fuck.
good?
Yes.
Okay. Are you sure?
I'm sure I'm good.
Okay.
This will only embarrass me for the rest of my life, and at my wedding you can play a highlight of me lusting over fictional anime characters.
Renjin Guji plays the Newt Daddy, Megan.
God damn it.
I know he plays the Newt Daddy! Bitch, I am here for Junichi Suwabe playing Newt Daddy.
Damn it.
Renjin K-Rab, do you hear my pleas? Newt Daddy Renjin Guji
in
outfit.
a Newt outfit?
Fit.
God damn it.
Oh shit! Hey Gigi, guess what I learned? You might want to go back and watch this in the Japanese.
Yeah, I think I might have to.
No, because Abeno was played by Camu.
Oh, fuck! I'm sorry, guys. This just turned into Japanese dub talk. BRB in 4 hours and 30 minutes.
No, it's turned into sub talk. Get it right.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't on that episode.
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh, shit. Is that guy also... Wait, which brother is he in Brothers Conflict now?
Oh, no.
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, shit! Haha! He's the one I like. Suck it, biatch.
God damn it. Anyway, are you good?
Yeah, cool. I'm just gonna go through Tomoaki Maeno's Wikipedia page while you talk.
Oh, God. Alright. Jesus, I'm trying not to die of laughter right now. Alright, so... in order, I'm going to start with Janelle. Janelle has a very mature charm to her as Korra. It's also mixed with slight, subtle, what I call mad scientist vibes. Because the woman will try and take your body parts and just mix medicine because she fucking can. Like, this is how I roll. It's like, I want your eyes. Can I have your eyes? I will make a beautiful medicine out of that. And how about your ears? They come in a set, right? I'm going to take them. And it's a lot of fun. I'm still slowly getting used to Janelle Lutz's range because I'm more familiar with her as Angelica as well in Ancient Magus Bride. But this is very similar in tone. It just also has that subtle vibe where it's like there's something going on underneath this person. I don't know what it is, but... I don't know if I want to stay near her, but anyway. Sarah, as Shizuku, is very, very adorable, and is a lot of fun, and is very much the jealous type, pining away over Korra, and it's probably some of the funniest shit you'll see in the show. Going into Josh as the legislator, I think when I first watched this show... I think it was at least a couple months ago. I know it was before we went to Anime Fest when I first watched it. When I got to the part with the tadpole phone, I was like, this sounds very familiar. I wonder who this is. And then we actually get to see the legislator, and he actually starts talking. I'm like, oh, it's Josh. I haven't heard him pull off a very, very mature character with this kind of appeal in a while. Huh. Okay, I'm into this. I'm down. Like, he shows a lot of strength and maturity as a legislator, but he also has that childlike quality to him because he's very mischievous at times. He likes to screw with Abeno on a frequent basis. It's very funny. And another road I just found so hilarious that got brought up when we first meet him. And I will read this as I wrote it. Josh is so disappointed about underage drinking because he's like, Ashia, Abeno, next time let's have a drink together. And Ashia's like, no, I'm underage. He's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that rule in the mundane world about underage drinking.
Please,
he was so upset.
Dub Talk PSA, do not get 15-year-olds drunk. You don't want to deal with that shit.
No, do not get minors drunk. That is not a fun time. Do not let
I can't go back to prison.
Do not let your legislators get minors drunk. Your newt legislators, no. But yeah, like the performance, all three of these performances, since they have at least a little bit more larger roles, they are a lot of fun to me, and I enjoy them immensely. Are we good to move on, or is Megan about to jump in with something else?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Yes.
Cool. So let's move on to our next two characters. We have Zenko Fujiwara, who is the daughter of a priest or shrine, someone who oversees a shrine. She also goes to the same high school, excuse me, I almost said middle school, as Ashia and Abeno. And she's calls on them a couple of times. In one instance, because she gets bitten by this dog-fox-like creature, named our other character we're discussing now, Yahiko, who actually knows Abeno from many years ago. They used to play together, and Yahiko is very mischievous little yokai, mischievous like a child and like a fox, and it's very adorable, honestly. So, as voicing Zenko Fujiwara, we have Miss Danny Chambers, who most notably is known for portraying Chisei in the Ancient Magus Bride. But she's also gotten major roles in a couple of shows from the summer season, primarily two that we're not talking about, Island and Lord of Vermilion. As for Yahiko, we have Miss Brittany Lauda coming into play here, who has been in series such as Castletown Dandelion, My First Girlfriend is a Gal, and Tokyo Ghoul Re. Gigi, would you like to go first?
It's time, fam. It's time to get your prayer circle and your halos out.
God damn it, here we go.
To talk about the goddess whose name is Brittany Lauda.
Here we go.
You know, we all know that Audrey from Honey Pop is my wife. She is the best girl in Honey Pop, and I will hear no arguments because she likes to call me a bitch, and I'm fine with that. However, other than that waifu material, can I just say that this little fox thing is my favorite time I've ever heard Brittany Lauda voice act.
Really?
Number one, I didn't recognize her. So that's good because normally I can pick out people. But, yeah, I was like, this is really cute and mischievous and kind of jerky. And I was like, I like this little fox. I think the fox is going to be the best boy. I feel it in my heart and soul. And then I looked at the credits and I was like, oh shit, the fox is a goddess. That is one yokai to watch. So,
yes.
I mean, like, seriously, no joke. This, yeah, I think it actually kind of does trump Honey Pop. That this is my favorite Brittany Lauda performance I've ever heard voice acting wise from her.
Wow. So, okay.
Yeah. So,
and I know usually you have problems with like little children,
yep.
Especially like little boys. So that's interesting.
I do have a ton of issues with people trying to do little boy voices. So when I hear a really good one, I have to give it credit and props where credit is due, because this character, again, had a lot of levels to it, and it had levels that would take it to the crazy yandere spectrum, and it would have levels that, would just make it kind of annoying. I didn't get annoying. I didn't get crazy yandere, which was good. What I got is a little lonely fox boy who was kind of a dick, but just wanted people to play with him. And I was like, this is really great. So I have to give mad props to the goddess herself because it was really good. And I'm very, very happy and surprised. So I like it when I can be surprised by people's performances. So bravo, goddess. You are the goddess. Who is the other person we were talking about?
Danny Chambers. Zenko.
Okay,
Zenko.
So I thought Zenko was like in the 9 to 11 age range until she showed up at the school. Now, is she actually a student at this school?
Yes,
she is.
She's the same age as them.
I thought it was played way too young. I literally thought 9 to 11, like around the same age as the fox when he was like a fox boy and when Abeno was a kid.
To be fair, I think the problem is the character design. Because she's very small in stature.
She's very tiny. I got really young girl. Not to say that the acting was bad, because it wasn't. The acting was very good. I felt it was very understated, as this character was kind of an understated character. She was just like, yeah, my dad's a crazy dad. I live in this weirdo shrine, and this yokai bit me. I don't know what to do with my life, but please help me. And I kind of liked that quality about it, like the little stoic-ish quality to the performance. I just thought that with the character design and the tone of Danny's voice, that it sounded very young and not teenager to me. But I thought it was really good performance. Just I thought it was very young sounding.
I mean, that's fair.
It's not a bad thing, because again, young characters annoy me. Like, people trying to do young character voices annoy me, and this did not annoy me. Like, I thought it was very appropriate, especially since I thought the character was like 10 years old. But I mean, it was good. Good job to everyone around. Fox's best boy. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
This has been Gigi's TED Talk.
Oh,
about how much
actually...
she wants to have a little fox boy in her life.
I just want a pet that won't make me sneeze. And a yokai fox that doesn't exist and just wants to play a lot, I think would do the job. I would buy the plush.
Meanwhile,
I also would buy the plush.
I would also buy the plush, but primarily I would buy the plush of Fuzzy first. So, Megan, how do you feel about Danny and Brittany's performances?
Hide and seek! Sorry. That was the worst impression ever. By the way, before we start, I would actually like to point out that in the Japanese version that, Yakiho is played by Pikachu.
That's great.
That's awesome.
So, congratulations, Brittany Lauda, on playing, a very, very strange-looking Pikachu.
Pikachu!
Pikachu! No, I loved Brittany Lauda in this, and I didn't know if I was or not, because when I had heard the previews a little while ago for this, when the series was first coming out, I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. Because this character screams a lot.
Yeah.
And is a very bratty child.
He's very whiny.
He's a little fucking brat.
I didn't get annoyed by it, though.
But I'm not annoyed by it because he's fun, and it's what's needed, especially when he's... I very much like the fact that he is always put together near Zenko or Amino, who, as characters, are a lot more stoic and sourpussy. Fuck.
That's a great way to describe those two.
No, I said the word pussy.
God damn it.
Get out.
What the fuck?
I'm sorry,
Megan?
Amino is wrong.
5-year-old.
5-year-old.
You are clearly the 5-year-old right now.
I am the 5-year-old in this episode. Also, I'm staring at a picture of the legislator looking seductively at me.
Because of course you fucking would.
Don't
right
lewd the newt.
Why?
The tail comes off. You can satisfy yourself with the tail alone.
God damn it.
And it will grow back.
Fuck.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
I've read Dojin about this.
I win. Thank you for coming to my dub talk.
Thank you for coming to Gigi's TED Talk. Alexa, this is so sad. Play the Monty Python of the Holy Grail soundtrack. How do you know you were a newt? Oh, better. Anyway, no. You think I'm lying about the whole fanfiction thing, but I have read, like, okay, so some girl online does, like, a really kind of coolish, like, Yuri on Ice Mermaid, like, AU. And I've read some shit about, like, people with... Fuck! Damn it!
This is not my fetish. This is not my kink.
No, but
at
people
all.
were like, oh, what if Yuri has a tentacle that just comes off and stays lodged in it? I'm like, okay.
Oh my god.
That's where I draw the bullshit line. Also, my friend on my, like, little Discord just goes, I'm behind on internet threads. What the hell is a newt, daddy?
Guys, through all these 100+ episodes of Dub Talk, you've always wondered what my kink was not. It's
not this.
It's not detachable tail dicks. Anyway, back on topic. I'm sorry, Brittany and Danny. You're probably the two people in the show who'd listen to this.
God, that's true too.
She's not wrong.
Fuck. We're so sorry.
I'm gonna have to explain myself to Danny. I am so sorry.
I forgot.
Shit, I totally forgot that
Her
this is
newt
what
daddy
to
is
watch.
better than your newt daddy.
God damn it.
There are no other newt daddies. He's the only one.
I'll find you one. Give me 10 minutes.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Do we have to
Fuck off.
Wait.
Do I even want to know?
Does anyone need to go
Yes.
Hold on. Does anyone need to go in the hallway real quick?
No,
Not
God.
me.
I had to throw that in there. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ, none of them are vampires. Camo isn't here for Gigi.
God damn it. Actually.
Why is Alucard from Symphony of the Night here? Anyway, back on topic. No, so I really do have to agree with Gigi that Brittany Lauda is actually probably one of the better little boy people who play little boys that I've seen too. I think she's underutilized in this, at least at Funimation, kind of like, of all people, like, Caitlin Glass is, because Caitlin Glass was Baby Kirscheiss, and I thought she was fantastic. And then Danny, I find it hard to agree. I do feel like Gigi is correct in that Zenko is played really young, but I think that's the character design's fault. Because, God, Zenko and Chisei are like 15, 16 themselves, and Chisei sounds like much more like a 16-year-old than Zenko does, and they're the same actress. But I think it's just because that's what the character played for. It's like, oh, everyone keeps mistaking her as a child, so play her younger. And it's not a bad performance. And I do also like that she's a lot more deadpan. Like, she's more deadpan than Amino to me, but she also isn't as exuberant as Ashia, who I finally got the name right of after like an hour. But they were both really good, and they do play to something I feel overall about the show is that their performances are really easy to listen to, like, because they're in a sense where I think like a lot of the show where like if you do a little too much or too little, the performance just doesn't work. Mm-hmm. So I liked it a lot. So Steph, go ahead and stop looting this section.
Hey, look here. You started it. Gigi took it and ran with it. With the newt daddy and the tail. She took it and just went.
Do not loot the fox child or the Zenko.
I'm not looting it. I just want the plush.
I just want
I know,
the
I do
plush
want to
fuzzy.
Okay, legit though, if like they made like actually of all things, I would love an Nendroid of Yakio. Like I would actually think that Yakio would be a great Nendo.
That would be really cute actually.
Yep.
He would be really, like, especially because you can change their faces, and he has, like, a lot of, like, I'm not gonna lie that I actually love when he opens his eyes, and they are fucking creepy.
Yeah.
Oh god, that scared the shit out of me.
Those little moments.
Yeah, no, I was like, oh my god, this thing is gonna actually kill them.
Yes.
I was like, I turned into an episode of Tokyo Ghoul, I need to
God
run.
damn it!
Oh, she too.
It's funny because Brittany's Misa. Brittany's Misa.
It's even funnier because technically this was animated by a spin-off of the studio that animates Tokyo Ghoul, so.
That's funny. Anyway, so, God, how am I gonna start this? So, I'm gonna start with Danny as Zenko, and a lot of the things you both said I can actually really agree with. Because Zenko is supposed to be this 14, 15, 16-year-old girl, but she does sound a lot younger, and again, that's more on the fault of the character design more than anything. I'm assuming Zenko may not have hit puberty yet at this stage, so that's probably why. But Danny has a good sense. If I had to place Zenko into a kind of trope as a character in terms of the characters that she interacts with, she has a sense of realism and maturity to her compared to Ashia, who's just energetic and full of heart, and then you have Abeno, who's if I had to describe him, Abeno can be a very black and white person, and you can tell he's clearly like the brains of the operation. Zenko is what would happen if you kind of mix some of their personality traits together, though mostly keeping Abeno, and you get Zenko. So I appreciate Danny's realism and maturity that she pulls out of Zenko. And she has slight skepticism, but she also does also does believe in what goes on. She knows that there's other things going on out there, and she has a sense of she has this curiosity, and she wants to discover and see these all things. And as for Brittany as Yahiko, I'm very much, again, I'm going to be agreeing with what you guys said. Brittany is very mischievous, showing both the sly qualities of a fox as well as the childlike mischievous qualities of a kid. Like throwing it all together into one thing, and you have Yahiko. Yahiko at first may come off as obnoxious because Yahiko is a bit of a brat. Like, bar none. Yahiko's a brat. But the more you watch the performance, you see that there's more to Yahiko than just being this spoiled little brat and just wanting to play all the damn time. He has his reasons, he has his own methods, he is this sly fox, and he's more intelligent than what you were led to believe at first glance, and I appreciate that Brittany is able to play these different sides of Yahiko rather well. I also think that this is probably my favorite little boy sounding character, because it actually does sound like a little boy. Like,
I was gonna say, is this your favorite Brittany Lotta character? But then I was like, oh wait, you're the one who's actually sat through all of Frank's.
yes, and I do love Ichigo. She's a good character. Though
Ichigo did nothing wrong, you cocks.
Ichigo did nothing wrong. Ichigo is best girl. Fuck you, fight me.
Wait.
Didn't watch it. Don't know what you're talking about.
Just agree with us that she's the best character in the show.
Sure.
It's your goddess Brittany Lotta, so by default,
The goddess
your
is
best,
the goddess. Put on
your
your
best
halo.
character by default. But yeah, I enjoy both of these performances. They're very different in their own right from what I've heard these two actresses perform previously, and I appreciate that. Though, to be fair, Danny Chambers' Zenko is fairly close to Chisei, except, like Megan was saying, Chisei is definitely a lot more older sounding as like a 15, 16-year-old girl compared to Zenko, but the fault on Zenko really, again, comes down to the character design more than anything, and that's and her sounding younger to fit that frame is probably what this calls for, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are we good to move on? We got 2 characters left.
I found his skull. Can I keep it?
No, put it back.
Why?
Because I said so.
Why?
You don't need it.
Fuck you, Dad.
Speaking of dads, so we're gonna talk about our last 2 characters individually. We're gonna start off with Haruitsuki Abeno, who is the master of the Mononokean, who is this exorcist going around helping poor yokai trying to get to the underworld, and who has to deal with the 5-year-old child known as Ashia on a daily basis. Haruitsuki, as kind of what I was describing before, if I had to pin personalities for Haruitsuki and Ashia, like basic trope characteristics, Haruitsuki to me has a very black and white personality, and he's the brains of the operation. I'll describe Ashia when we get to him, though. As Haruitsuki Abeno, we have one Mr. Jason Lebrecht, who has been in series such as Cardcaptor Sakura Clear Card, Noragami, and Prince of Stride Alternative.
Shut your mouth.
We're not. You don't bring up the last one.
Gigi, do you want to go first?
Oh, look, fam. Looks like that train is pulling out of the station. Excuse me while I put my conductor hat on.
Here we go.
Choo-choo.
So-
Motherfuckers, the salt train is on the move. Oh, look, another anime where Jason Lebrecht plays my best boy. I'm pausing for dramatic effect.
God damn it.
You know, this happens to me all the time, and I say it every time that I don't have a hate boner against Jason Lebrecht. I just have this thing where I wonder why every time in every anime he plays my best boy. However, in this anime, it's a case of I don't know who else would have played this character. So this is like in Noragami, where he was super great and I had nothing horrible to say or bad to say or no salt to, throw. Like it's a wedding and we're freaking throwing birdseed at a bride or something.
What?
I don't know.
That's a thing that people do.
Yeah.
No,
because
I know, but I'm like, wait, where did the analogy come
That's how
from?
That's how you train the. That's how you train the. If you don't like the bride, you hope that they have like the pigeon release that you throw the bird seeds over them so that they go attack the bitch.
God damn it. Wow, okay.
Fly, my pretties!
God damn, okay. Anyway.
Well, anyway, this is a case where I actually am going to take the hat off and I'm going to put brakes on this train and I'm just going to stop it. We're just going to rest for a while at the station because I'm not salty that Jason Liebrecht plays my best boy. I'm actually kind of thrilled about it because he does a really great job at playing this deadpan character who just is like, give me my money, give me a fucking assistant who knows what the fuck he's doing, but then at the end turns around just slightly to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt back when the chips are down for his boy toy. So, welcome to the BL Yokai Watch. Actually, you know, I'm not, like, super in, like, the name of our Skype call right now is
You're
Ashia
welcome.
X Aveno OTP.
You're welcome.
And, like, I really, like, I didn't get the huge BL undertones. I got some of them, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't, I'm like, this is an episode of Free or something. So I was just like, okay, that's cute. It's cool. But as soon as I saw Abeno, I was like, this is mine. This one is mine. I will take him and we're going to go out into the hallway. It'll be a fun time. And I couldn't recognize the voice actor because you'll find out in a couple minutes that the reason I wanted to watch this anime was because of the person who plays Ashia. So I was like, I don't know who this is. Let me look at the credits. Son of a bitch. But then I wasn't sad about it, which is the best part, the best thing I can probably say. Because I think Jason Liebrecht is a good actor. I really do. And I know why people think I have a hate boner for him, but I really don't. I just find it fucking hysterical that he always seems to end up playing my best boys. And in this case, you know, I have no salt about it. He does a great job. I think that Abeno at points is sort of one-dimensional, but it's fine because he can play him off in that way where if he just like turns the tone of his voice just a little bit or puts a little lilt into something or like a little in there somewhere, you can tell that there's like something hiding behind his stoicism, which is great. So A+ on the non-existent salt train that's happening right now. And I can't believe he's fucking played by Camus in Japanese.
There it is.
Step on me, Amino.
I guess I have a reason. I wonder if it's like mean Camus or if it's like Prince Camus, Butler Camus. So now I'm going to have to watch season 2 in the Japanese to see how this turns out. But yeah, so if anyone else would like to put on the conductor hat, feel free. But I am hanging it up in retirement. It is the retired salt train conductor hat. So,
for now.
Choo-choo, motherfuckers. Choo-choo.
God damn it.
Well, I'm not going to be salty because this is probably one of my favorite Jason Liebrecht performances of all time.
Yeah, see, like, I'm not, like, Noragami is mine, but this is, like...
Yeah, well, okay,
really
nothing's going to top Yato
Yeah,
for
nothing
me.
will top
Yato is, like,
Nothing's going to top Yato.
Ashia's Abeno's probably a close second, though, for me.
Yeah, Abeno is also, it's a close second for me. And then, honestly, my close third for Jason Liebrecht is an Akka. But that's
True
because
facts.
he plays a villain.
Lilium. Yes, I will agree with
Lilium. Fuck, that fucked me up the first time I saw it.
that. Anyway, how do you feel about Jason?
No, I honest to God loved it. I honestly think that it is up there as probably... It's so weird because this is... I don't know if... I guess I'm going to kind of just unfortunately default this to the comedy show because the show was very more easygoing and like slice of lifey than like a lot of other shows I've watched this year. Honestly, it's probably one of my favorite performances of the year because I believe this counts towards this year.
Yep, it does.
Okay, cool. This was one of my favorite performances out of anybody at Funimation this year. It was just a lot of... I don't want to say it's a lot of fun because this character isn't fun. He's kind of an asshole.
Yes.
He's this asshole who has a talking RV, who is a snarking RV, to which my favorite thing is, one of my favorite lines of the show is, since when did the Mononokean learn to use emoji?
Emoticons, yep.
Emoticons.
Yeah, that was.
By the way, the Mononokean. By the way, if we can all agree, the Mononokean is one of the other best characters.
Right.
The Mononokean best character.
Best
I love
boy.
Best character.
Mononokean is best boy, or girl. We don't know. Mononokean is my favorite RV. But there's just a lot of. I think what really sold me a lot on Amino's character is he is such a jerk to. He's such a jerk to. I want to call him by the actor's name, and I can't do it.
Not yet, Ashia.
Fuck Ashia. He's such a dick to Ashia a lot of the times. And he also kind of like one of the things that really got me was when they're walking into the underworld for the first time, and he's like, dude, are you sick? What the fuck? You're supposed to tell me when you're sick.
Yep.
And he kind of moms Ashia a little bit. But for me, he comes off as such a dick to Ashia, though the fact of it is he's a tsundere kind of towards his friendship. But it's when he interacts with clients that he is such a different person. And one of the moments that really sticks out to me is in the episode where they go to Kristen McGuire and her mom's house.
Oh, God.
Yeah, by the way, that was Kristen McGuire.
Yep.
As the girl. Yep. As the really ditzy girl who's into, like, I'm into supernatural shit! Where Ashia is kind of yelling and venting to him about, why aren't you fucking mad at these people? They treat you like a con artist, they're really rude to you, and he's like, you don't think I'm mad at all this? And he kind of gives him this thing where he's like, I've just learned to let it go. Let it go, Camus! Let it go, Camus! We all have that card now. But he just kind of is like, yeah, no, like, that really kind of got me, like, as his character, where it's like, how much of this whole exorcism shit plays on his psyche, in that he's become just so numb to genuine human interaction between people that, because remember, he doesn't like helping people, he likes helping yokai better. And he is very respectful and very humble to them, except for the legislator, who is basically like his shitty boss. But there's also he also gets pretty fucking scary sometimes. Like, where he's like, where, Brittany is like, is it true? Did you kill your master to become the master of the Mononokean? And he, like, puts his hand on her snout and, like, shoves him down. It's like, what if it was true? Would you still hate me? Like, there's a lot going on to this character, and I think Gigi really nailed it, where it's like, he plays him really deadpan, but just, like, the little tiny intricacies in the voice show that there's so much more to the character. And I really like that out of Jason, and that's something that's, I think, really hard to get out of deadpan characters effectively, especially in a show where they're paired up against somebody who, like, Ashi is at a 5. Like, no. Fuck! Ashi is at a 10. God damn it, I keep messing their names up!
Abeno?
And Abeno is kind of at, like, a 2. And it's really hard to get that across without, like, because you can never be as energetic as that energetic person next to you. Otherwise, it ruins the tone of the show, and it ruins the performance in my mind. But I've rambled enough about Abeno. So, Steph, go ahead.
So, like I was saying before when I was talking and describing Abeno as a character, the best way I can describe Abeno is he's similar to me, actually. Because I'm a very black and white person, and so is Abeno. It's either this way, it either goes down usually like this way or this way. There's no in between. Which, when we get to Ashia, he's kind of the good, like, gray middle ground that we'll talk about in a few minutes. Abeno's also the brains of the operation. Clearly, he's the brains of the operation because he knows what the fuck he's doing half the time. Compared to Ashia. Abeno also is tired of Ashia's bullshit half the time. Like, Ashia is a dumbass. And, even though the running joke is Abeno calls Ashia a 5-year-old, to an extent, that's kind of how he sees Ashia, is as a 5-year-old child who doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about or anything about what's going on. And I just love there's so many parts of Abeno's character, some of which I really hope kind of get explored a bit more when we eventually see season 2 come out. Especially the whole thing about his past, and with the first master of the Mononoke in particular, that I'm hoping that they expand upon a little bit more, because Abeno is a black and white person. Who's very intelligent, who does kind of give people the benefit of the doubt. He's also very mysterious. He can be loyal at times, depending on who you're referring to in terms of a relationship wise. And there's still some mysteries that we don't know of in terms of Abeno. So considering how complex this character can be at times, I think Jason performs it very, very well. Even with the stoicism that Abeno mostly has throughout the course of the show. And the fact that he's a rude and bossy little shit half the time. Especially to Ashia. But considering Jason's performance of Abeno and then Ashia, who we're talk about in a minute, the interactions they have with each other, it's probably among some of my favorite banter, and I know Megan agrees with me on this.
Oh god, I love the banter between them.
The banter between the two of them is the absolute best, and I think that's my favorite part of the show, period, is the interactions that Jason has with Ashia. And it's just so much fun because you see those two opposite personalities. You have the black and white Abeno versus the gray area named Ashia. So it's very interesting and so much fun. But considering some of the complexities in the nature of Abeno's character, I think Jason performed all of that really, really well. And I'm just curious to know more about Abeno as a character, and hopefully we'll get to see more of that when we eventually see a second season come out.
By the by, apparently this does have a... Yeah, by the by, apparently this is adapted off a manga and you can read it on Crunchyroll, but I would very much like for somebody to pick this up in the States for a physical release.
Yeah, I would
because,
love that too,
no offense, the Crunchyroll manga reader's kind of shit.
I would love that too, honestly. Because I would love to buy it digitally for my Amazon Fire. Anyway, are we good to move on to our final character?
Yes.
The one we've all been waiting for. So that way Megan can finally stop stumbling with names. Okay, anyway, moving on. Our final character we're going to discuss is Hanae Ashia, our lead protagonist, who one day before his first day of high school starts, he stumbles across a yokai, helps him out for like 2 seconds, and then the yokai gets attached to him to the point where Ashia has no fucking idea what to do with it. And he finds a flyer, a help wanted flyer for an assistant exorcist, calls this person. It ends up being Abeno. Abeno helps him get Fuzzy, as we find out, off of Ashia, gets him sent to the underworld, and then as payment he has to work for Abeno as his assistant. And then Ashia just kind of gets dragged into a bunch of random shit that happens half the time. But in terms of his personality, kind of like what I was saying before, if Abeno is the black and white, Ashia is the gray area. And Ashia, between the two, I feel, at least, has a lot of heart to him. And he's very, very enduring. So, as the voice of Ashia, we have, Megan's going to be happy to finally call him by his actor's name, Aaron Dismuke coming into play here.
Yay! Thank God I could call him Aaron!
And Aaron has been in other series such as Blood Blockade Battlefront, The Heroic Legend of Arslan, and The Legend of the Galactic Heroes Dinu Thesis. Gigi.
Aaron Dismuke, and I'm Chris, and I'm Clifford Jabin.
Fuck you!
Nothing's gonna stop us now.
Us now.
Oh god damn it! I don't want to start dying of laughter right now. Shut the fuck up. Gigi, How do you feel about Aaron's performance of Ashia?
Well, considering the fact that the main reason I wanted to watch this anime was because Aaron Dismuke was the lead in it.
I wonder.
That should pretty much tell you right there. Okay, so I love Aaron Dismuke. Y'all know, or maybe you don't, that he is in my voice actor reverse harem. I just think he has this most amazing, unique tone to his voice that I can pick out anywhere. And it just makes me very happy every time he's in something, whether he's playing a character like Ashia, who I normally wouldn't like because he's too vanilla for me. But in this, hello, super cute because Aaron Dismuke is voicing him. I can't freaking help it. But let me tell you what my favorite part of this entire dub was. It was when Ashia went to the underworld and he got that crazy yandere look in his eye when he was about to punch that capybara in the face, and it was like Dark Aaron, and I was like,
and then we never saw it again.
I know, we never saw it again. I was like, more.
I swear to God, that better be brought up in season 2, because for some reason the last name of Ashia is clearly is infamous for some reason.
Right, and they never tell us what it is. People know it.
Yeah, so they better clear that up in season 2. I'm gonna be very disappointed.
Like, that was like the whole draw to the actual, other than Aaron himself, the whole draw to the character to me was that he's hiding something. There's something hiding that maybe he doesn't know about. He has this kind of split personality that we're going to get to. And when we saw it in like episode 4 or 5, I was like, ooh, great. It's going to be through the rest of the anime. And then it never comes again. It never gets it.
Baby, come back.
I know. Baby, come back to me. Yandere, Dark Aaron.
God damn it.
I was just like, where did it go? That was the best part of the entire dub, and it was 3 lines, and now it's gone. But I mean, even with that, I mean, Ashia is such a pure, cute little kind soul that, I mean, I don't know why Aaron Dismuke is so good at making these kind of characters interesting to me. Because y'all know I don't like these kind of characters. They bore the shit out of me. But this performance was really good, and it was adorable. And, like, he did, get a little bit of development other than Dark Aaron time. Like, at first he was like, what the hell? This yokai is possessing me. I'm going to die. And then he turns around and, like, completely loves yokai. So there's something going on here. And I think that during the acting of this, I'm gesturing a lot, like right now. I know you can't see me, but I'm like making all these waving things above my head.
Just do it.
I know.
I'm using my hands.
I'm just like, like I just want to get this across. But there's, like, I think that in the directing and the acting, they knew that there was something else going on with this character, and the performance leaves little hints of it that we're not going to get to see fleshed out until maybe season 2. If season 2 even gets released or a dub, I don't know. But
I hope so. I
loved it. I love Aaron Dismuke in anything. And I truth be told, I'm not a huge fan of this anime as a whole, but I liked him in it, and I'm glad that I watched it for the sole reason to begin with that he was going to be the lead in this anime. So I just love that little thing he has in his voice. It's like a little raspy tone, and I'm like, yep.
It's really adorable.
I love him. So good job. Good job, Vanilla Ashia. Bring Dark Ashia back, season 2.
Megan, how do you feel about Aaron's performance?
I also want Dark Ashia to come back, because I want to... Okay, look. First of all, I wanted to do this when we got to Final Thoughts. But I'm gonna do it now. So, you can't convince me that this is just not a timeline in the world of Kakariko. Because his master's name is Aoi, and she was a yokai. Just saying.
Actually.
Just fucking saying.
Interesting. Okay.
Just fucking saying. But no, I loved Aaron in this. And I liked how he played off of Jason, because Spaz Aaron is some of the best Aaron Dismuke roles. Like Leo from Blockade Battlefront, which is one of my favorite all-time performances of Aaron Dismuke, as this poor fucking kid dropped into the middle of a situation with new magic powers with special eyes, thank you. My brand.
Yo, my brand.
My brand!
God damn it.
Where he's kind of putzing around with some guy who doesn't really like him much and gets thrown into all these crazy situations, but his empathy kind of gets him through and lets him save the day. So I really like that Aaron gets this across, and especially the fact that he does have some times that are darker and then sometimes that are just genuinely like heartwarming and just gentle. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the boy and his fuzzball, a boy and his fuzzy gets me every time. He's a good boy, and I really like Aaron's performance in this. I think Gigi covered a lot of what I said, minus the part that he's in my voice actor reverse harem, because I don't have that. So, but I fucking love the performance. I would say that I think I like Jason as Abeno a little bit better, but they're both incredibly strong leads, and I can't wait for season 2 where they get to come back and do this again.
Again, I'm becoming a broken record here. So, with Ashia has a lot of heart to him. He can be a bit of a spaz and have a lot of high energy to him, which Aaron, because, I mean, let's not forget, we've been growing up as Aaron has been growing up. I think
he's like a year younger than me, guys.
Like, we've seen him grow as a person and as an actor, like, before our eyes. It's very interesting how this is developed. And a good amount of characters that we see Aaron typically play nowadays are these rather energetic characters who have a lot of heart to them. And Ashia is no exception here. Though, to be fair, who is it? Reinhardt. Reinhardt's an exception to the rule in this situation. Because it's Legend of the Galactic Heroes. But yeah, I think Aaron is just very, very lovable as Ashia. Because, again, Ashia has that energy to him. He has such an endearing quality, an endearing charm to him that just makes you adore the character even more. And he's a really good fit and a counterbalance to Abeno because of his empathy and sympathy towards different situations where he's this outsider coming in and like, but what about X, Y, and Z when Abeno's been doing this for years? 8 years, we find out, apparently. And Abeno's more like A, B, and C, you know what I mean? In the black and white, like, just used to what he's doing. But then Ashia comes in and just basically, like, turns everything upside down because he's this gray area. He's the heart of the situation. And I feel like without Ashia, the show itself wouldn't be the same. It'd be a completely different story. And without Aaron's performance of Ashia, I feel like the show would actually kind of suffer for it, despite Jason's performance of Abeno. Because, again, one of the best qualities I think the dub has is the back and forth that Aaron and Jason share with each other. That's some of my favorite stuff in the show. And despite me loving Jason's performance of Abeno, if he didn't have Aaron's energetic portrayal of Ashia to bounce off of, Lord knows where this show could go, in all honesty, and how it would affect the dub itself. So, as the character you're supposed to resonate with the most, and to an extent kind of self-insert yourself to, I think Aaron portrays that extremely well and carries it through to the end of the first season. And to be fair, though, I also am curious about Dark Ashia. Because clearly there's something there that hasn't been brought up ever since that happened. And I really want to know what that is. There's a lot of things that the show didn't get to do. And, I mean, it was a huge surprise when it was announced that a second season was greenlit. So, who knows when we're going to get that. But I really hope that they do, when it does come out, that they do dub it, and then at the very least, Aaron and Jason get to come back for these roles. But anyway, moving on to our final thoughts on the English dub of the Morose Mononokean. Gigi, would you like to go first?
All right, so my final thoughts on the Morose Mononokean. Well, in any other universe, I would have skipped right past this show because it's basically yokai watch with cute boys, I guess. I don't know. I've never seen yokai watch, but I sure like to mention it a lot and make fun of it. Yeah, I kind of thought this anime as a whole was middle of the road. Not talking about the dub, just the anime by itself. Definitely not something that I would have watched like voluntarily without the dub. So because I had seen a cast list for this show, I was like, fuck, I gotta talk about Aaron Dismuke for 20 minutes. You know, this is what it is. But I am glad that I gave it a watch. Honestly, it's kind of forgettable to me, kind of just passable. I mean, there's nothing other than a few performances that really stood out for me about this. But Jason, Aaron, and Brittany in here kind of were the things that like put it on part of a highlight reel for me. But this isn't normally a show I would watch. It was way more slice of lifey than I thought it was going to be, which to me equates boring because I don't like slice of life anime. I just think they're boring. I don't really like episodic anime. So it had that going against it, like starting at episode 2. Will I watch a second season of this? I mean, I might watch a couple of episodes just to see if Dark Aaron comes back, and to hear Abeno being voiced by Camus in Japanese. But other than that, I mean, I don't really have a desire to watch any more of this. I think if you're on the fence about watching this and you like episodic anime and you like things about yokai, by all means, please give this a go because you will like this more than I did. But I did like the performances that were in it. The dub is very passable. The dub is fine. And I really liked who I really liked in it. And I think that's all I have. That's all I have. Dark Ashia for life.
The show is 100% my fucking jam, and I'm so mad I didn't watch it till now.
You see how we differ, folks? You see how we differ.
I'm sorry, by the way, if you don't know, I love, like, fantasy, yokai, demons, dragons, all that type of shit. Like, that's my jam. Like, I fucking like a show where a guy turns into a giant white tiger. That should say enough about me. No, so I love this dub. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's a very easy listen to. That's something that's like not easy to say about a lot of shows, that this is super super easy to listen to, but it was, and I was very surprised by how easy it was to listen to. I think all the character acting is great. I have the little bit of nitpick that the boys, some of the older gentlemen who are played by older gentlemen, do kind of blend together if you put them all in one screen, and I was like, Jesus Christ, my brain can't handle this. I've watched too many dubs. But I genuinely liked it. I loved a lot of it. I think this might be my favorite thing that Tyler Walker's directed this year, actually. I know Angels of Death was up there for being probably the other really fun thing that I love that Tyler Walker directed, but this is probably up there for me. This might be one of my... Okay, shit, I can't say that because that man directed Baccano. I was like, I could never say that. He legitimately directed one of the best dubs ever made, so... No, I loved it. I had a lot of fun. So that being said, go on, Steph.
Okay, so my final thoughts on the dub of Morose Mononokean. I really enjoyed it too. It has a fun charm to it, very endearing quality, and it's just so fun. It's one of the easier shows I've been able to get through this year. Believe it or not, it's an easy watch for anyone, especially if you like your fantasy, supernatural stuff, but you also like your slice of life stuff. So I don't know how easy it was for Gigi to get through, since she's not typically a fan of like slice of life stuff. But I know for me it was very easy to watch it. I straight marathoned it today, and by like 2:30 when I 2-3 o'clock this afternoon when I realized I was done, I'm like, wait, I just finished the show? I thought it'd be done later than this. Hold on. But it's a very charming show. I enjoyed it a lot, and the dub is just so endearing and it's adorable. It has some amazing performances in it from Aaron and Jason and Brittany, and I think Danny Chambers was great too. And again, my favorite parts of the dub in general are the banter between Aaron and Jason, because that's really the core of it, is these two goobers bickering like an old married couple and figuring out how to do shit and exercise yokai. It's very cute. If you like your more charming slice of life kind of shows that have a supernatural, fantastical element to it, you're definitely going to enjoy this show a lot. Despite it having some plot holes and bits of character development that appear for 5 seconds and never get talked about again, aka Dark Ashia. But hopefully, because again, season 2, the announcement that it was greenlit came out of fucking nowhere, hopefully that'll clear that up a little bit when we eventually get that release. So on that note, if you're interested in seeing the Morose Mononokean, there are a couple different ways to watch it. The first is, if you're interested in seeing this show in general, you can see the Japanese version over on Crunchyroll. It is there. The full show is there. You are not required to have a premium subscription in order to watch it, but if you do want a premium subscription, they do have a 14-day free trial where you can try out their services. If you're interested in seeing the English dub for the Morose Mononokean, however, you're going to have to head over to Funimation now in order to watch it. They also have a 14-day free trial for their subscription services. However, as your usual disclaimer, and this is going to be used for both Crunchyroll and Funimation in this situation, if you do not wish to keep the service after the 14-day trial is up, you're going to need to cancel it, because both services do ask for credit card information at sign up. I believe, I would not know because I don't have this one, but it's probably also on Verve as well if you're interested in checking it out through there. And then the other way to watch it, of course, is there is a physical home video release for the Morose Mononokean. It is on the Blu-ray DVD combo pack through Funimation at wherever you get and wherever you buy your local anime, your needs over there. If you are interested in anything that the Dub Talk Podcast does, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitch, all at Dub Talk Podcast. We also have a Ko-fi account if you enjoy what we do here and you feel like donating a little bit to help us out in terms of production-wise and all our other goals that we've been working on. We do sincerely appreciate it, but if you don't, that's also okay too. What else? If you're interested in anything that the ladies here do, my name is Stephanie. I am on Twitter at Lilac Anime Review, with review being spelled R-E-V-U-E, where I don't really do much else aside from bitch about daily life in general. I'm sorry. Work has been a mess lately. It's been really crazy, especially after I got back from Anime Fest, and I'm not going to go into nitty-gritty details. But if you want to follow Megan and what she does, she is at Queen Era 2 on Twitter, where she shitposts all the live long day. You might also occasionally see her hanging around on the Funimation Discord or Funimation forums as well. And Gigi is at Anime Palooza, where she talks about her shoujo trash on a constant basis, as well as wishing Camu to step on her on a frequent basis.
I'm a good friend. I bought a picture of that for her.
It was great.
It's beautiful.
But if you really want to follow anything that Gigi does, you can head on over to her YouTube channel, Animepalooza, where she does different unboxings, Unapri, scouting videos, the Shoujo Trash Showdown podcast is over there with her and her co-host Gwen. You can follow a variety of stuff over there. Just don't watch the Unapri stuff if you've never played Unapri, because that's how you get sucked in. That's how I got fucking sucked in, is watching one of her goddamn
Do it anyway,
Unapri
play
videos.
with us, bitches.
Ugh, I'm here forever now in idle hell. Fuck my life.
Don't forget,
Anyway.
you're here forever.
I fucking hate you.
I just unplugged my computer.
Oops daisy. But I believe on that note, that is everything we want to cover. Was there anything else, like, plug-wise that I missed, potentially, from any of us?
Remember, always respect your newt daddy.
God damn it. Don't lewd the newt. Don't lewd the newt. God.
Why are we not allowed to loot the newt? He lewds himself.
Jesus Christ.
Can I have my
I'm not
wine
even-
now?
Yes, you can.
Great.
We can, let's go have our box wine and call it a fucking day.
I'm good.
I think we're... Alright. So on that note, that's it for us here at Ladies' Night this season. Hopefully you'll hear from us again in the near future. And until then, we're calling it a good night. Have a good night, everyone. We'll see you later. And otaku on, my friends.
Love your faces.
Lewd the newt. He lewds himself.
Shut the fuck up.
道なき道を示せ壊れてしまいそうな命震えて